Good morning, y'all. So we're on our way to school right now. It's gonna be the first day of barber school. Don't know what to expect. I just kind of got a couple background things that I was told when I went for my, orientation. But I don't know how much content I'll be able to gather inside the class. I don't want to be stepping on nobody's toes since it's my first day, but I'm really going to try to take you guys through my full day today, and kind of just show anybody who's maybe interested in the field and all that stuff, and a new barber like myself, what to expect for your first day of barber school. Sure fully what to expect. I'm really excited. Anything that kind of happens today, I'm just truly blessed to be a part of it. I've been waiting a good chunk of years to finally get to this day, so it feels good to finally be here. But it's just day one, man. Got 1,800 hours to get it all done. So I guess anybody who might be watching, gonna be Ohio barber, go to school here in Cleveland area. So I don't know what requirements are different between every state and all that stuff, because like I said, I'm real new. I'm still trying to figure myself out. But for all those people who are in my shoes right now, a few years ago, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I kind of just started cutting hair for fun. It became fun enough to where I was like, man, this is something I really want to do. And I didn't really have the guidance or the knowledge at the time to really think about what does it truly take to become that licensed barber, and why is it so important? All those questions that I had for myself a couple years ago, I want to be the answer for anybody who does have all those questions for themselves. Because I'm going in my first day right now, and I got no expectations. I got no questions to ask. I got no answers for anything I might have to ask. I don't know. So that's hopefully, as people kind of jump on board for the YouTube channel here, I can reach out to fellow students or potential fellow students and kind of give them a little bit of knowledge on what it all entails in the whole process. And it'll be even cooler because one day, as I hopefully grow the YouTube channel here, we'll be able to look back on these videos and kind of just see how far I made it, and hopefully how hard I worked. And truly a blessing to even have this opportunity. I got a lot of people in my corner, so it makes things a whole lot easier, and I really appreciate it for all those people that have supported me and have even supported me before this day. And shout out to all those people who let me cut their hair in my grandma's garage. You guys are big reason for this stuff, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. So we're on the road. We're about to head up to school here soon, so hopefully I can gather a bunch of content for you guys while I'm inside. If not, we'll try to grab a couple clips of some stuff and whatnot. But we'll try to get a couple recaps, kind of explain how the day went, and hopefully I'll come back to y'all shortly. All right, welcome back, y'all. It's actually been a couple days since the first day. We're actually going for our fourth day of class right now, where we're headed. I was trying to probably do something day by day, but the content that I was recording as I was kind of listening or some stuff, it felt really repetitive. And I'll get into what I mean here in a second. So I figured it's probably gonna be best. I'll do a little summary of what I've done past couple days right now, and then I will probably follow back up again. You'll see maybe a change of scenery, and we'll recap the whole week, and we'll go from there. So I guess probably number one question in everyone's head, especially my own, was, am I cutting yet? And no. Long story short, no. There's just some classroom stuff that the school requires before you can get behind the chair and work in the clippers. So totally fine with that. I still plan on cutting on my own in my house and stuff like that. So that's the answer for that. And as far as for new barbers that are looking into going into barber school, the one thing I've really kind of noticed since starting school was you're ultimately going to start off as like a small fish in a pretty big pond. You don't necessarily, at least at my Barber college in particular, you're not going to start off like on chapter 1 or like start from scratch. You kind of got to keep the rhythm of the class, and I just kind of caught up to where they're at. So I don't really have much of as much knowledge as everyone else does. So, like example, we started in chapter 5 this week. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 that I haven't got done, but we'll come back around to those. So, they have been throwing some terms around and stuff from chapters like that in class, and just stuff I'm not familiar with. So that is a little difficult for me. But I'm totally fine with it. It feels like a whole lot different than going to like school, considering I'm just in like a classroom pretty much all day, because it's actually like stuff I care about. I don't like when I was in college and bouncing around like majors, like every time I walked into a classroom, I didn't care what was going on. I didn't care to like listen to this professor telling me all this content, I guess, or curriculum stuff, because it never really piqued my interest. So actually having to read a textbook again for the first time in like 3 years, it's been different because I have a whole different mindset, because it's like stuff I actually care to read. So it's a lot more enjoyable. So as far as like sitting in the classroom every day, it hasn't really bugged me, because it's stuff I enjoy, and there's a reason I'm there. But it's just the beginning. So like I said, content's pretty cut and dry. There's not too much to talk about, I guess, unless you guys would rather me read what my notes in my textbook are all talking about. But there was one thing that we were talking about in class that like really opened up my eyes as a young and new barber. Was there's a kid in the class that had asked our instructor if there really is a difference between like a $1,200 pair of shears versus like a $60 pair of shears. And his answer was like really eye-opening to me, because he was like yes and no. Obviously there's going to be benefits to it. If they're selling this for this amount, it's got to probably do this something. But in reality, he just generalized that is pretty much no. Like, just because you have this fancy high-class equipment, and as a young barber, I'm really guilty of this. He even went to say all these like Instagram, YouTube barbers, every time a new clipper drops, they gotta have it. Whoever the maker was, whether Babyless, Wall, Andes, they're like, oh, these new clippers revolutionize this because they do that. And he's like, no, they don't. Like, in the end of the day, it's all about who the barber is and the work they're putting in, how consistent their wrist is, other stuff like that. So the equipment doesn't make the haircut. The barber makes the haircut. And he went on to elaborate about how our equipment, it's just your preference, whatever you're comfortable with. Because in the end of the day, whether you got this $500 pair of clippers or this $100 pair of clippers, that guy or girl sitting in your chair is coming for a haircut. They don't care what dollar amount of the clippers are that you have. All they care about is how well you'll provide that service for them, and if it's a haircut that they'll enjoy and a client that you'll get back. And then we were talking kind of how like getting clients in the chair and stuff like that while in barber school. And there was another kid who had like mentioned that like he's like scared to mess someone's head up, and as a young barber, I agree. A super scary moment, especially when I first started cutting hair. I had no idea what I was really doing. So let me touch on that real quick. Shout out all those people who let me cut their hair in my mom's kitchen or my grandma's garage, or whether I drove to you and cut you at your house. Much appreciated, guys. I was really reflecting on that moment, those moments in my life when I was sitting in the classroom these past couple of days, because without those moments in my life, I would have never really discovered if this was truly the route I want to take. And now that I've been in the classroom for a couple days, I'll sit through this classroom for a year if that's what it took to finally be a barber. So bless you guys for all that. It really means a lot. You guys know who you are, so shout out all y'all. But when it comes to clients in the chair at the barber school, and we were talking about how like, oh, I'm scared to mess someone's head up. Our instructor made a super good point about those people that walk into the barber college already know what they're expecting. They can't come in and expect the greatest haircut of their life because we're all students. Are we going to give them a good service and provide them the best haircut we can? Absolutely. There's an instructor there for a reason. He's going to help talk us through some stuff when the moment comes, and we're going to provide the absolute best haircut we could. And he went on to elaborate too, and I'm very guilty of this, of don't sit here and try to piece together this masterclass blurry fade for your first ever client in your chair. It's not gonna happen. You can sit there and work for an hour and 40 minutes, but it takes time. It takes practice to get real blurry like that, and to really master any type of haircut. And that was really eye-catching me because I'm guilty of it. I take time on a lot of my haircuts, and I try to get it as blurry as possible. And I'm not saying don't put in your best effort, but 100% he's right, and this goes for everything in life. When you're new to something, you're not going to be the greatest at it. It takes time, and it's a little bit of a process, but you'll build up to it, and you'll get there. Just how I am right now, I'm going to build up there, I'm going to get there. But nobody's ever the best barber, you know what I mean? Like, someone's always going to be better at cutting long hair, someone's going to be better at taper, someone's going to be better at bald fades. Everyone's got their own piece. The only aspect that truly makes a good barber is that client relationship. If you can bring that person back in your chair, that means you're doing something right. So as like when I talk about the client relationship, that might be the most, that not might be, it probably is the most important part to cutting hair. Because whether you give them a good haircut or a bad haircut, a haircut's still a haircut. You still put somebody in the chair today, you still provided them a service, and you may not have given them the best haircut of your life, but you just built a really good relationship, and hopefully that's a repeat client. So especially in the aspect of as a barber student, if the day comes and I get to cut hair at school, I get a guy in my chair, and I don't give him the greatest haircut in the world, but he really enjoyed the conversation we had together, he'll come back, he'll request my name. Once I'm graduated, he'll find out where I'm cutting hair at. He'll make sure he sits down back in my chair. And that's why I like bringing up the fact of, like, shout out all you guys who were letting me cut, like, in my grandma's garage and my mom's kitchen, like, stuff like that. Because I know I wasn't giving you guys the greatest haircuts, but I did something right because I got you guys back. I don't know if it's just maybe y'all felt bad for me or something, and I was really trying to grab heads to cut, but one day once I'm big, I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna appreciate all those moments. And one day when these fades are blurry, I'm gonna get you guys right for the low. So yeah, it's real cut and dry right now. It's a lot of classroom stuff. The content's really one-dimensional. But those are just some key points that I had pulled from the class that really opened my eye as a young and learning barber. So like I said, I'll probably follow up again here within the next few days, and if anything new came up, and just kind of recap my week, and we'll go from there. So I'll see y'all in a bit. All right, we're back, y'all. Change of scenery. It's actually my little barber setup in my house. Cool little spot. Always repping gold blue. But yeah, like I said, a lot of the material we were doing in school is really one-dimensional. It's kind of like the same stuff, so I didn't want to be reaping a bunch of the same kind of content over and over this week. But it's Sunday today, whole week's done, today's day off. It's a pretty good week. Got to meet everybody, cool dudes in there. It'll be a good year with some good people. But as far as like schooling and stuff like that goes, I mean, it's just kind of getting back in the swing of being a student again and kind of learning how to manage my workload and proper studying and stuff like that, just to really like make sure I'm really understanding our book content and really gaining that knowledge. Got a few haircuts I'm gonna do today here at my house, so I'll throw some content out for that. It'll probably be on my Insta, TikTok Reels, something like that. So I don't even got really too much to say as far as like the follow up for the rest of the week. It's same stuff. I was just in the classroom all week. Friday and Saturday at the barber school was really busy with haircuts, so it was really cool to get to kind of walk around, talk to other students while they were cutting hair. They were throwing me some pointers and stuff and things they like to do that I could probably model in my own barbering skills. So I'm definitely gonna try some new technique and stuff like that. But yeah, real cut and dry, it's just back to being a student. So that's probably about all I got for week 1 of barber school. Hopefully we can roll something out next week and have some new content and hopefully share some new information, new ideas with everyone. So appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back next week. Peace.